So what was the question again? Oh, why is it called the traffic jam? Well, you know, the reason is, it's because I have two really cool cars. Seriously cool cars. And I love drifting, racing, because I am fast and slick. And plus, I like to create a bit of traffic jam myself with a whole lot of great music. Bulumnaka, my name is Real, your host and DJ, right here on the Today FM Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 p.m. to 7. Right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
Tonight, Minister for Infrastructure wants water supply to affected areas hit by the dry spell. Supply shortage pushes up vegetable prices at supermarket. And new ceremonial guns for RFMF. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. The new Minister for Infrastructure says his first priority is to sort out water supply. Pio Tikundoandoa says the prolonged dry spell is a challenge and the ministry has approved up to 200 water trucks for daily water carting. Maggie Boyle has more.
Water woes are becoming all too common and it's something that the new Minister for Infrastructure has at the top of his to-do list.
Obviously, water is a priority, giving my wholehearted effort to deal with that. I'm listening to briefs now by sector heads, particularly the statutory authorities that are under my portfolio.
Given the prolonged dry spell, he says the ministry has activated a contingency plan.
We're not in a state of a natural disaster with regards to water. Obviously, we've had a long spell of dryness, and our objective has been really to make sure that people do get drinking water in all parts of Fiji where the challenges are. I think at the moment the biggest challenge is in the Eastern Division and in the West. So we have a contingency for that, and there's ships, trucks. There's more than, there's about 200 trucks going out there cutting water almost every hour to communities.
Tikundoandoa admits that a clean, consistent water supply is an ongoing problem. He's adamant that he will make a difference.
There is a reality and there is a perception, and I want to know what is the reality, and I want to do something about fixing what is not right at present.
Tikundoandoa previously held the permanent secretary position in the Prime Minister's office. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Vegetable prices have been driven up by the prolonged dry spell. Market vendors at the Suva Municipal Market say they've had to pay more to middlemen as vegetable supply is beginning to run low. Rishika Kumar reports.
These market stores haven't gone empty because of the dry spell, but the prices of most produce have increased in the last few weeks. Market vendors told FBC News they have had to drive up the prices to cover costs and because supply is low.
They're buying them $20 a bag, sometimes $40. And tumbua now, tumbua the bhaji, and the tumbua is $15 a dozen because of the weather.
Before it was 25. Many people had different price. Now it's 35.
The price is sometimes going up, but I said sometimes going down.
Because of dry season, prices are up of the vegetables.
Many of these vendors are looking for more middlemen who can keep up supply.
Prison is special $20, but from the farm in Nandronga, $40, $50 one bag.
It's not all bad news. Many of the vegetables which are now in season aren't that expensive and are available in abundance.
The tomato before, $60 a box, but now $5, $7 a box.
Many consumers have also felt the pinch, having to pay more for vegetables that would have cost far less only a few weeks ago.
Just a few weeks ago, this bundle of bean would have cost $1. Now the price has been doubled to $2 a bundle.
2 weeks ago I was coming here, the price of these vegetables like for for this cucumber, it was like 50 cents, now it's like going up to $1, $2.
Because of the dry season, the price is gone up.
Prices have increased.
In Sigatoka and Draw, productivity has reduced by 60%. The dry season is expected to continue throughout the year, and farmers are being advised to plant high-value crops. Rishika Kumar, FBC News.
Member of Parliament and leader of the Social Democratic Liberal Party, Rotemu Mukepa, has clarified she is not the opposition leader as yet.
At the moment, I am a backbencher in opposition, and that position would be open for anyone who is in opposition, whether you're a member of the SODELPA party or the National Federation Party, who are also in Parliament. So for that position, we would have to discuss it in caucus and then have it endorsed in Parliament.
Asked if she would take up the position if nominated, Kepa says it's something she will certainly consider.
I think for anyone who would be nominated to any position, it comes with it responsibilities that you would have to look at and see how you would act within the confines of those responsibilities, and hope that you would do it to the best of your ability.
Fiji's new members of parliament, most of whom have never been in the House of Representatives, attended their first parliamentary induction program in Suva today. Akusita Tale reports the leaders were encouraged to be open, transparent and accountable.
Being a member of parliament is a privilege, which at the same time comes with huge responsibilities. Today's induction hopes to prepare these MPs for what's to come.
We will continue to work closely with them to help you, our parliamentarians, to give value to representative parliament.
Representatives from the United Nations Development Programme were also at hand to explain to the MPs their different roles and responsibilities in parliament.
We were fortunate to be able to utilize experts with global expertise who have worked with the Office of the Solicitor General to update the standing orders. The session today will touch on aspects of the standing orders.
The MPs were briefed on the standing orders, parliament protocols, election of Speaker of the House and its deputy, as well as the opposition leader and the deputy leader. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
The Fiji military forces received 6 new ceremonial guns from the Korean Army today. The new 105mm howitzers replaced the old 25-pounders that had been used since the early 1920s. Watisoni Rakandroka has more.
Fire. These massive guns will now be fired during national celebrations such as Fiji Day. The old guns used by the RFMF have become obsolete.
No country continues to make the ammunition for them, so we've had a bit of problem trying to get ammunition for the 25-pounders. So we went to the Korean government and asked for Korean aid to help us maintain this vital RFMF tradition of firing ceremonial guns.
Military Commander Brigadier General Moses Tikoitonga adds these howitzers have seen battle, used during the World War II by the Americans. The Korean Army later built their own for the Korean War.
The guns is a high trajectory gun. It fires an ammunition of 105 mm. It can go to as far as 12 kilometers if the requirement is to fire high explosive rounds on them. It is the biggest gun we've acquired as a military force.
These guns will be fired for the first time next week during Fiji Day celebrations. They will become the highlight of RFMF's ceremonial events. This is one of the 105mm Owincher ceremonial gun that was donated to the RFMF by the Republic of Korea. Watisoni Rekanroka, FBC News.
After the break, court defers plea for local government minister Praveen Kumar.
Pula
Bula FM nambando na serena wasiningon na dibawa tara ni sibiti ko bekanda na diwa na tini na miniti na may pakuriti wala beng grabe na nantang nonongo kanda na dapat ko ani no na kaloko na kami din deba bili na tay wali ni may dapat ko na wani matakabo na lib sarti ko na biser talio ni na namaka do batat ko may kinana kenan daw ro di kanamaki Bula binaka ayo salamilawa do patakia wana batara ne woni vio na kaloko moni tiki na barumbuka na Bula FM nambang 2 na sele
बॉलीवुड हीरो पंती रे Get this.
हीरो 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 सपना दिखेला बंद करो
क्या करूं यार सबको आती नहीं मेरी जाती नहीं
मिर्ची मस्त मॉर्निंग मैं हूँ अश्निल सिंह
हाय मैं हूँ काजल
शामिल हो जाए हमारे साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे
6 AM to 9 AM
मिर्ची FM it's hot
Welcome back. This is FBC News. Kiribati has seen Fiji as a safe bet for long-term investment. Its government has already bought 6,000 acres of land in Vanuatu, and President Anote Tong says this will be highly beneficial for future generations. Ellen Stahls has the story.
I feel so frustrated. Nobody was listening.
Kiribati President Anote Tong says having had a bad run in the global financial market, they prefer real estate investment.
We have reserve funds invested offshore. We had been a little concerned about the state of the international financial market. We have lost considerable amounts of money during the crisis over the quite a long period. In 2008, we lost something close to $100 million. And so we thought we would diversify. And we started investing in real estate, in property, and I think we believe that is a good investment.
The land costs about 15.4 million Fiji dollars, and Tong says they're trying to think ahead, given the limited resources in Kiribati.
In time, it would offer options for us to provide safety nets for food security. As you know, we are facing severe challenges in terms of climate change. At the moment, some of our communities have had to relocate, and some of our communities are facing serious problems of producing they lost their food crops. And so we're looking well ahead into the future. And I believe there will come a time when food security will be a serious issue, not only for Kiribati, but I think for the world at large.
The president of Kiribati says his people are also reassured in knowing that Fiji is the only country in the world that has offered a home for people who are displaced by rising sea levels.
If ever Kiribati should find itself in a situation where they had to relocate, then Fiji would be willing to accommodate. And this is, I think it's very gratifying. I think it gives us hope that there is humanity in this world. But Fiji, up to now, has been the only country that has shown the way.
His Excellency also visited the Arctic to see the melting polar ice caps, which are threatening Kiribati. With his own people at the very front line of climate change, he hopes that these investments will prove to benefit them in the future. For FBC News, I'm Ellen Stahls.
Minister for Local Government Praveen Kumar has had his plea deferred. He's charged with causing death by dangerous driving. Kumar's lawyer Shailen Krishna told the Lautoka Magistrates Court that they were finalizing the review of disclosures and that their private investigator could not continue working for them. Krishna asked the court for 30 days before plea. However, Magistrate Penindali Tuivama has only allowed 14 days deferment. Praveen Kumar, also known as Praveen Bala, is the former special administrator of Lautoka, Ba and Tavua. He allegedly hit 48-year-old Punachand at Tendamu near Lautoka last November. Finishing touches are now being added to the refurbished parliament at government buildings in Suva. Secretary-General to Parliament Viniana Namosimalua says construction will be finished by the end of the week. The first sitting of Parliament is on Monday, and Namosimalua says the challenge now is the recruitment of parliamentary staff.
80 years of not having parliament, we've had staff go everywhere, and right now we are trying to get them back, and not only getting them back, but getting the best people back to enable us to do a good job of serving our parliamentarians.
And that's been a challenge?
That is, because it's difficult to find the right people for this kind of job, and also because it's been 8 years and having to train people as well.
The Secretary-General says the new parliament is packed with new high-tech gadgets.
We have security features inside the building. When you get in, you have to use a swipe card, and there are security features that are required. And also we have cameras all around the building, and also liaised with the Ministry of Defence in terms of security out and inside as well.
The 15 members of Parliament will be sworn in on Monday. The Fiji Labour Party is mourning the passing away of its Assistant General Secretary Kini Maraiwai, who died last Friday. Labour Party leader Mahendra Chaudhry has offered his condolences to Maraiwai's family, saying he was a forthright person, a liberal thinker with a deep commitment for democracy.
We're indeed very saddened by his untimely death, although we knew that he was not in very good health for the last 2 years. Despite that, he worked very hard and participated actively in the affairs of the party. We were shocked by the news of his death last Friday.
His position will be filled during the next delegates' conference. 23 police officers from different Pacific Island countries are in Nadi for a regional police training program sponsored by the Australian Federal Police. It focuses on gender, violence against women, human rights and the law. FWCC coordinator Shamima Ali says one challenge is how police respond to women who report violence. She says if police officers are sensitized, it will deter would-be offenders.
This is where women go to first of all. Women's organizations like us are not everywhere. There are very few offices, but police posts, police stations are everywhere. So, you know, their responses for a woman can be sometimes a matter of life and death. And they are very, very, as I've said before, very important stakeholders.
This is the first time regional police officers are being trained under one roof. And we turn to sports now. Welcome, Jamie. What do you have for us?
Thanks, Jackie. Well, coming up after the break, Ben Ryan travels to Australia with 2 teams and a definite plan ahead of the Oceania and Gold Coast Sevens. And we take a look at Suva's preparations 3 days out from its IDC opener against Lambasa. Stay with us for the details.
My name is Luca. I live on the 2nd floor.
Gold FM, Molly, the classic hits. I hope you're having fun so far. You're listening to The Ride, and I'm Kara, taking you through your afternoon. Stay with me to listen to more awesome classics right here on The Ride. Mulubinaka, for awesome sounds in the afternoon. Wonderful, wonderful classics. Join me on The Ride every weekday right here on Gold FM, Molly, the classic hits from 2 to 7.
Just don't ask me what it was.
देश की धड़कन रेडियो फीजी 2 का प्रसारण कार्यक्रम में आपका स्वागत हम कर रहे हैं। सुंदर ये मौसम और ऐसे मौसम बहार में आप भी कार्यक्रम का आनंद उठा रहे हैं, आपको शामिल कर रहे हैं हमारे साथ में।
गुड मॉर्निंग आपको हम कहना चाहेंगे अगर www.fbc.com.fj पर आप हमें सुन रहे हैं। हम सफर प्रोग्राम आपके लिए जारी है। सुबह 9 बजे तक हम आपका साथ देंगे। गुड मॉर्निंग आपको।
अपने दिन की शुरुआत हमारे साथ कीजिए। रेडियो फीजी 2 पर हम सफर प्रोग्राम हर सुबह 6 से 9 बजे तक। जॉइन अस।
Welcome back. Vodafone Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan has decided to go one up on other teams in the build-up to the Gold Coast tournament. Unlike other national squads playing in build-up tournaments, Ryan has named 2 different teams for the Oceania and Gold Coast Sevens. Indra Singh has more.
It's that time again when coaches start their mind games ahead of the World 7 Series, and Fijian mentor Ben Ryan is doing the same.
I was never going to pick the same team for 2 weeks in a row this early in the season. It's way too big a risk. And what it gives us is a chance to have a crack at some of those teams that are playing 2 weeks in a row.
With two of his rivals having selected a virtually small squad for both the tournaments, Ryan says he understands fully what the two nations are planning, and this could work in Fiji's favour.
I know why Gordon's picked his 16 players. You know, he'll probably put some of his main boys out in the pool to get them some game time, and then he'll probably, just use them sparsely for the rest of the tournament. And Samoa probably, maybe it's a financial thing that they're sending over one team. I watched Samoa last year in Oceania beats us very convincingly in the Oceania final, and then played pretty poorly the week after. They looked tired.
However, the coach is also working on bettering his own team, as he understands fully that the current luxury of selecting two teams will not be around all the time.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer for me, but it's a good challenge for us that later on this year we need to back up tournaments. So when we go to Dubai, we need to put in just as powerful performance a week later in Port Elizabeth.
The team for the Oceania Sevens departs tomorrow, while the main national team leaves on Saturday. If mind games are anything to go by, Fiji would have won round one. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the Fiji men's and women's team today presented their itatau to President Ratu Epeli Nailatikau. The sides were reminded by the president on what they had set out to do and how it was important to fly the Fijian flag with pride. He says every person in Fiji will be keeping a close tab on the teams, as sevens was something very dear to Fijians.
Nothing is hidden. Everything is reported very widely and very quickly. But for you, it never changes. Your performance, we expect to be top performance for every match. Both the two teams. Your grandfathers will tell you that, your grandmothers, your boom-boos, tutus, they all tell you that. I'm not saying that just because I'm the president. I'm saying it on their behalf. They expect no less. And what I want to do is to wish you all the very best.
Meanwhile, the Fiji under-18 team was thrashed 58-0 by the New Zealand schoolboys this afternoon. The side plays the New Zealand Barbarians on Saturday. The Suva soccer team is leaving no stones unturned in preparations for the court's inter-district championships. The team has raked in some new players and has been playing warm-up games in the build-up for the biggest local tournament in the country. Rohit Deo has more on the whites.
With the National Football League title already in bag, the Suva soccer side is eagerly waiting for the start of the court's inter-district championship.
The IDC is a very important tournament. I think every district prepares well for the tournament, and we are also preparing well. And we're looking forward for a very good game against Lambasa.
The side has been strengthened with the inclusion of defender Puasa Bainivalu, lethal striker Napoleon Inga Sevakatini and stopper Tevita Koroi. The trio are expected to add more thrust to the team, and the coach hopes he is able to get the best combination before their first game.
There are a few new players, but hopefully they fit in. That's why we played 4 friendly games this weekend, so that I can get the best combination for IDC.
Suva's last win in the IDC came in 2012 under dubious circumstances, but the team is gearing up to lift the title at home for the first time since 1983. The capital city side opened their IDC campaign against Lambasa at Subrel Park this Saturday at 2 p.m. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Sports Council is doing its best to prepare the NZ Stadium for next week's court's inter-district championship. The council says although the tracks are being used for inter-house competitions, the ground has been set aside for next week's event. With just over a week left for the tournament proper, officials are confident the ground will be in top condition.
Our ground maintenance team are working full on preparing for that. We're looking forward to hosting Fiji Football's IDC tournament, courts IDC tournament here. And as we all know, it's one of the highlights of the sporting calendar, and it's something that we look forward to hosting here. The Fiji Sports Council is very proud of that. We're grateful that they've brought it to us this year. And like I said, the team are working, they're always working on getting the ground up to scratch and making sure that everything's ready. We have a few inter-houses and we have a few zones, but we're making sure that the ground is kept for the actual IDC tournament.
The IDC in Suva will be played from Thursday to Sunday. Veteran Ajay Chand will be using the Suva Marathon as a build-up to the Sydney Marathon that he will be taking part in later this year. Well known for running in a marathon from Suva to Singatoka in 1980, Chand says he's always keen to take part in such competitions. Chand also urges the public to come out in numbers and be part of the Suva Marathon this Saturday. Fijians Jared Hayne and Semi Randrandra were both winners at the annual National Rugby League Dally M Player of the Year Awards last night in Australia. That was Joe Sports for tonight. Good evening.
The Consumer Council of Fiji is advising the public to refrain from using the services of an online supermarket called Lajeb Produce. Some people have spent hundreds of dollars on items, including groceries, which were never delivered. Shireen Lata has more.
Lajeb Produce has been operating in Fiji since 2012, taking orders for household items and groceries.
Some of these consumers here locally, they have received a list from their relatives and they're waiting for the groceries, and these groceries were never delivered.
Payment is made using credit cards with an assurance and promising to have the goods delivered at the physical addresses in Fiji, but there haven't been any deliveries since July. Complaints were lodged with the council after people didn't get any answers from Lajeb Produce. After some investigating, Praveen Kumar managed to locate one of the directors who lives in Australia.
Maybe a lot of other consumers who are still waiting for the groceries to be delivered, and probably they don't have any idea that this company doesn't exist anymore. And if they go to the Facebook, the company pretends they're no longer in existence, but it's still there.
The council is now requesting anyone who placed orders and paid Lajeb Produce but has not received their goods to come forward and register their complaints. So far, only one consumer who lodged her complaint has been compensated. Shireen Lata, FBC News.
Lajeb Produce hasn't replied to our questions. It's weather time now with Trish.
Thank you, Jackie. Let's take a look at today's map. The only centers with brief showers were Suva, Savu and Lambasa throughout the day. As for the west, Nadi, Lautoka and Ba had cloudy skies with fair conditions all day. Now with temperatures, Suva, Nadi and Lambasa were all on 32, Ba, Lautoka 31, and finally Savu on 34. Tomorrow's forecast. Suva, Savu and Lambasa, you folks should be expecting cloudy skies with fair conditions. The rest of the major centers might have fine weather all throughout the day. Mariners forecast southerly winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. This one was taken by Felix Dolatana view of Waya Island in Yasawas from the mainland.
Thanks so much for that, Trish. Recapping our main stories. Minister for Infrastructure Pio Tikondondua wants water supply to areas affected by the dry spell. Supply shortage pushes up vegetable prices at the supermarket. And RFMF receives 6 new guns from Korea for ceremonial purposes. That's all for tonight. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. Join us again at the same time tomorrow. Good night.
Ni sa bulu bina kana turun na kini marama ni bulu bina kana dor bau kini mone lewa ni sa bulu bina kana mone en go talem no no ni wawai katalau en mataka nei nei
en vindelana mai nei tasiri
no bulu maleka go ni milote nei soro tamua
en lomo ni vonua mai sanganga
eu bunare go Samuel na no tanga ni wawai katalau en radio Fiji wan nandomo vitina vonga ni venu May no kiniziwa ena bimataka moniti kina pagrubuka. Nika inamaka.